guys, Andy here, and I'm here to bring you all things Monday to makeup related. If that's your vibe, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to part of my little slice of the internet. And in today's video, we're going to go over every purchase I've ever made on Mercari. This video is inspired, oh gosh, there's a hair. Inspired by DW at Dub's Beauty Diary. She did a video a while back, like 3 months back at this point, just like this. So I highly recommend you go check out her channel. She's not making as much content at the moment, but if you like panning content and things like that, I highly recommend her channel. She's my best friend and I love her greatly. So she'll be linked in the description box down below. But if you want to be nosy and hear all the details about my Mercari journey, then let's go ahead and get into it. So for you guys, there will be pictures on the screen of the palettes and everything, but for me, I'm going to be looking at my tablet, so I'm sorry if you'll see me looking down. This video is going to this one's going to be about the items that I've personally purchased. If you would more like a video about the items that I've sold and talking more about that, I could do a video on that as well. So, just let me know. I was pretty late to Mercari. My very first purchase wasn't until 2 years ago. It was not my thing. I was a Facebook Marketplace person if I was going to buy, like, secondhand stuff, that and Goodwill. So, you know, but the very first item I purchased was the Jeffree Star Alien palette. I got that for $30. When I write down in my, this is my no-buy journal. When I write down the price, I don't put how much the delivery fee was and all of that. So, like, I just write down the $30. The Alien palette is no longer in my collection. I just had to declutter it. The eyeshadows, the mattes in particular, were going very patchy and powdery. The shimmers were getting thicker, which really upset me because I love this palette and I did not get anywhere near as much use out of it as I wanted to. I don't know how long they had the palette before I bought it, but yup. So that is no longer in my collection. And here, we should write down, I'm going to keep a little total, so, how should we do this? Money spent. And we'll put a little column. So there's 30 bucks. Just so we can see. And then declutters. Spent. Declutter money. So we have $30 because that palette's no longer in my collection. The next palette is, so most of my Jeffree Star collection has come from Mercari. So this is the Jawbreaker palette, and I got it for $19, which was a steal for that palette. So we have $19, and I also just decluttered this palette as well, because again, the mattes were going super powdery, super patchy, the shimmers were getting thicker. Again, I've had this palette for going on 3 years or more. I wish I could see on here. And my Mercari app is on the phone that I'm filming on. But I wish I could see how long, like how far back it was that I bought this. But, you know, it's fine. But the palette was just going bad. And I had never even used this palette until this month. July. You're seeing this in August, I think. Or in July, the end of July. But either way, I just used this palette and I've had it for 2 or 3 years. So that palette, it needed to go anyway. But so we're 2 for 2 on declutters. Then we have the Mini Weirdo palette, which, if I have the palette, I should get it out and show you. I have that guy right here. I love this. This is my favorite Jeffree Star palette. Anytime I go traveling, this is the palette I take. This is runner-up for best silver in my collection. My only complaint about this palette is I don't think we need the matte black and the matte burgundy because they serve the same exact purpose. I wish instead we had a red shimmer. Personally. So I paid $18 for that palette. And that's still in my collection and it's still going strong. I will be very sad when I have to get rid of that palette. Then we have have Blood Sugar, which is over there, but it's in my declutter pile because I do not want that palette. I do not like that palette. I spent $32 on it, which, I mean, compared to full price is good, but... And the thing is, I feel like such an idiot. So I had this palette. I had Blood Sugar in the red packaging, and I was like, I don't like the color story, I don't like this formula, and I got rid of it. I bought it, I think on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace from someone. Bought it, didn't like it, decluttered it. So then I missed the palette. I missed it so much. And I was in a Jeffree Star collection mentality. So I bought it on Mercari, and it was in the anniversary white packaging, which does make the palette look better, in my opinion. Still don't like it. I like 2 shades out of the palette. Horrible. Horrible, awful, no good, very bad decision. You do not need to collect from brands. I'm saying that more to me than to you guys, but you do not need to collect from brands. Buy the palettes you want to buy that speak to you. This was a bundle. So for $40, I got both of these palettes. I got the Jeffree Star Conspiracy, this was the Shane Dawson bundle, and the Mini Controversy, and it was the one without, it was the brown shade in the center, not the green one. And both of these palettes are decluttered. I don't have either of them. So I first decluttered the Mini Controversy because I did not like that color story. I liked one shade in the palette. The color story did not work for me. The Conspiracy palette, I did. I liked a bunch of shades in the palette. The jumbled color story of the Conspiracy palette, I just feel didn't work for me. But that yellow, it was a neon yellow in that palette, which is why I kept it for so long. I miss that yellow. And I almost wanted to depot it, but then I didn't. This palette. So, this is the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. I spent $59 on it. Should have just bought it brand new. I decluttered it to a friend who's no longer a friend because I hated it. I used it for a full week. I did a full week of eye looks, used it no pan left behind, used some of the shades multiple times, and I just didn't like the palette, so I got rid of it. Do you know how bad I miss this palette? How much I want this palette back because I miss it? But every time I look on Mercari, people want $150 to $200 for this palette. It makes me very angry. Then, we have another palette in my collection. The Jeffree Star Pink Religion palette, which, can we just take a moment for this Bible-esque packaging? Like, I love this. It's so gorgeous. Like, when this palette goes bad, I might keep this as, like, background. But this is what this palette looks like. I wish there were more shimmers, because I love Jeffree's shimmers. But this palette is beautiful. I do love it very, very much. I spent $35 on it, and it is still in my collection and going strong. Then we have the Bloodlust palette, which I just decluttered this one as well. And this one made me upset because, one, I loved this packaging. This packaging screams me, like jewelry box, the velour. The inside color story I wish was a little more purple, but that like teal shade was gorgeous. Loved it. But $26 was a good price for this palette. It smelled. When I just opened it, because I just decluttered it a couple days ago, it smelled horrible, rancid. So that's why I decluttered it. Then we have the Natasha Denona Ayana palette. So I'm just going to round that to $11 because we're not doing cents. But I no longer have this palette. I originally rearranged a bunch of my Natasha Denona shades, but I no longer have any of the big shades in my collection. I just didn't feel I needed any of these sized shades in my collection. So, bought it because I wanted to collect Natasha Denona because I love her formula so much. You don't need to collect anything. Your makeup's gonna go bad. Ah, this guy. This is a recent purchase. I've only had this for like 3 months. I haven't used it yet, and I hate that his face is on it. But this is the Jeffree Star Cremated palette. So, 20 bucks, which you can see what it looks like, but still. This is what she looks like. I really wanted a nice, cool-toned palette, and this is just stunningly gorgeous, so. Bada bing, bada boom. Get back in there. Next, we have the Natasha Denona Peak palette, which this is the last one. I just decluttered this one. So, $9. I really wanted the color story, but again, it's gone. It's for the same reasons. This is a bundle, but this is a bundle I made from the person, so you'll see the other palette in 2 seconds. So this is the Taupe Notch palette from Violet Voss. So it's a Violet Voss bundle. So is it 15? Yeah, it was 15 bucks for the whole bundle, and both palettes are gone. So we will put 15 bucks in the declutter. So Taupe Notch is obviously decluttered, like I said. The mattes are beautiful. I love Violet Voss mattes. I don't like their shimmer formula. And the Taupe Notch palette was more shimmers than mattes, so I decided to declutter it. This is the other palette in the bundle, and this is the Violet Sunset, I believe. And I just, again, didn't need the color story. I didn't like the shimmers in it. The mattes were fine. So I let that one go as well. Next, I think that's it for Jeffree Star palettes. So I can shut that drawer. We have the Unearthly Dead of Night palette. So this is still in my collection. Looks like this. Beautiful dip on this shade. I had it in a project. I was trying to hit pan on it, which I didn't, but beautiful dip. My only complaint is I wish there was an inner corner highlight, which you would think that this is, but everything in this palette is super dark. But it is beautiful. I do love how dark this palette is. I do love it. It's a gorgeous palette. I love Unearthly's formula, so I am very happy to have that. Another one that's right here, I'm actually going to use this palette in real time tomorrow. So $30. This is the ABH Rose Metals. So this shade, and this shade came completely like out of their pans, but I repressed them in there and it was fine. It's the only palette I have from the newer ABH formula. I haven't tried it yet. Like I said, I'll be trying it tomorrow and I'm very excited. So as of filming, I still have this palette. When I'm editing this video, if I declutter it, I'll put a little asterisk here and then I'll change the totals at the end for you guys. But I love the like brushed metal. I just think it's a really pretty palette. Then now we're gonna get into the ones I've just recently bought. So, oh, my pump is yelling at me. So this is from Juvia's Place. It's the I Live, I Love palette for 15 bucks. And I did scrape out the glitter shade because it was a pressed glitter and it was a chunky, icky pressed glitter. So I'm debating on putting a shade in here, but I haven't decided yet. But I like all the other shades and I do think they're pretty. But as of right now, I have this palette. And then we have this $45 bundle. So the first palette is, they're both from Give Me Glow. And this is the Summer Vibes palette, which this one is actually has a bunch of shades that I had as singles and got rid of because I didn't want single matte shades in my collection. So I had Brazilian Bikini, I had Mango Margarita, I had Orange Soda Pop, and I had Sunny in my collection. So I did have 4 of these shades. I no longer have them, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, have to have that palette. And then I also got the Mystical Garden palette, which this is a raised plate. This is beautiful. And I said you'll see it either soon or in a previous video, But I decluttered my ColourPop High Tide palette because of this quad. So, got that guy. So now I'm going to put a photo in here because originally, so I got this bundle for $17. It was supposed to be this sweater for me, and the pants were supposed to be for Ian, which, I mean, they are. I'll put in the photo that I took of Ian because the sweater didn't fit me. It was a 2X sweater. It fits like a large. It fits Ian perfectly. I don't know how that's a 2X sweater, but it's fine. It fits him, and it's warm and cozy, and he loves it. But I'll put in the photo I took of him. So that's Ian in the whole outfit that we got. And then I picked up this nudestix foundation for $10. So that is right here, because I actually already rolled this into a project. So I have this guy. It's in the shade, so it's the Tinted Cover Foundation in the shade Nude 1. It's a very liquidy foundation, and I was not prepared for that, to be honest. So there's the shade. I mean, it's not that liquidy, but it is thin. I think it's a pretty nice shade match. Like, it's going to be a hair light, but compared to the stick foundation that I had from Nudestix, like, that's a beautiful shade match and coverage. I am very, very happy with that. And last but not least, we have 2 palettes, and these haven't even been delivered yet as I'm filming this. So for $35, we have the Cosmic Brushes Serenity palette. I purchased this for the August palette bingo, and I'm so very, very excited. So I don't have this to hold in front of you guys, but this is on its way here. I've never tried Cosmic Brushes, and I've heard amazing things, and I think this color story is gorgeous. If I don't get that peachy coral shade for the palette bingo, I'm gonna be so upset. And then last but certainly not least, the item I literally bought last night with my Mercari money, so I didn't spend any actual money on it, but it still counts. I got the ColourPop Darth Vader palette to complete my set. I'm gonna get the C-3PO palette, and then I really will have the complete set. But I have both of the Mandalorian palettes. Ian loves, I mean, Darth Maul is his favorite, but Darth Vader will do. So, whoa there, palettes, whoa there. So, but I've been wanting the Darth Vader palette for forever, but I spent $13 on that, and I will happily spend $13. So, let me total all of this up for you guys in 1 second here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so total spent on makeup is $509. And mind you, again, this is over the last 2 years. And most of the time, I'm using my Mercari money, so I'm only paying for, like, shipping. So there's that. 2, out of all of that, I've decluttered $241 worth of makeup. So 509 minus 241, 8, 6, so that's about half. So about half of the makeup that I bought from Mercari, I have decluttered, which is really sad, to be honest, but you live and you learn. I've gotten things, I've decluttered them, and again, it's also been over 2 years, so the things that I bought 2 years ago, again, you don't know how old things are when you're buying them secondhand, so it is about time for those things to be getting out of my collection. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a video about the things that I have sold, because again, I can gladly make that video. But that's going to do it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.